Hi, my name is Miguel from AvoidErrors.net. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up and access an FTP server in Windows 10. First, let's create an FTP folder. This folder will be accessed by my FTP clients. I'll create this on the desktop, but you can create it anywhere on your PC. Once done, press the Windows key plus R to open the Run window. Here, type cmd, just like you see it here, and click OK to open the command prompt. Now type ipconfig and press Enter. Write down the IP address and default gateway IP. We're going to need this to configure the FTP server. Once done, let's install and configure IIS. So go to Control Panel, View by category, select small icons from the drop-down. Go to Programs and Features. Turn Windows features on or off. Scroll down till you see Internet Information Services. Expand it. Expand FTP Server. Now here, checkmark Internet Information Services, and it'll also add a checkmark to World Wide Web Services, Web Management Tools. Also checkmark FTP Server, and it'll add a checkmark to FTP Services. Again, checkmark FTP Extensibility. Let's recap. World Wide Web Services, Web Management Tools, FTP Service, FTP Extensibility, FTP Server, Internet Information Services. Just like you see it here. And click OK to install the services. Services installed. Close. Now let's create a new site and configure that site. So go to Control Panel, Administrator's Tools, Internet Information Services, IIS. Here, expand the root, expand sites. This is a default site created, but we're going to create a new one. So right-click Sites, Add FTP Site. Name your FTP site, and the content directory physical path will be the folder we created. In this case, FTP folder, which is in my desktop. Next. Binding IP address is a Windows 10 IP address. So click on the drop-down and select it. Now, I'm going to select no secure socket layer for this video tutorial, but if you're using this on a real environment, I suggest you require secure socket layer. Authentication, basic. Authorization, allow access to specified users. Now this user is the Windows user, the one you created when you installed Windows, or the one you're currently using. In this case, it's Miguel. So enter the username, Miguel, and enter proper permissions. Finish. Windows 10 is still a little buggy. The site's supposed to be under sites, but it didn't show up. So I have to go and delete the one I created and recreate it again. I'll go a little faster this time, so bear with me while I do this. I'm having few issues with Windows 10. Even my recording software is not working properly. So if you notice that it jumps in some cases, that's because it's not fully compatible yet. So bear with me, please. Done. Now it's properly configured. It should come up under sites, just like you see it here. Once done, we need to configure the Windows Firewall to allow FTP access. So go to Control Panel, Windows Firewall, and here go to Allow an app or feature throughout Windows Firewall. Change settings, and scroll, see what I mean? And scroll down till you just find FTP Server, checkmark that, and also checkmark private and public to the right of it. And click OK to save settings. Now my firewall is properly configured. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the Windows Firewall to guarantee a connection. So I'll go to turn Windows Firewall on or off and turn it off. Now in case you're having problems connecting, try turning off the firewall at least temporarily, just like I'm doing. Now that the firewall is off, we need to create an FTP user. So go to Start, Settings, Accounts, select Family and Other Users from the left, and then on the right, add someone else to this PC. The person I want to add doesn't have an email address. Add a user without a Microsoft account. And now enter the username and password. They must have a password or they won't be able to connect. Unless you set it without a password, which is insecure. Once done, click on Next, and your FTP user is already created. Close here. Now let's go to IIS here. Select the newly created site and click on FTP Authorization and Rules. This is the default user, the Windows user, remember? Now we need to create another one. So right click on the empty space, add allow rule, and here specified users, checkmark that, and then add the user you just created, FTP user, and proper permissions. Click OK. Done. Because we created this user after we created the folder, we will need to add this user to the security settings of the folder. Now, go to the FTP folder, right-click Properties, Security, Edit, Add, enter the FTP user. Check name, make sure it's properly written. OK. Now, make sure you have the user selected. In my case, I'll select full control. In your case, make sure I have the proper permissions. Apply and OK to save. OK again. Done. Now we're ready to access this FTP. Now, first I'll try accessing from the LAN. Now, I'm using a Windows 7 computer from the LAN. All you need to do is just type FTP:// and the local IP address of that machine. Press enter. You'll be prompted to enter the username and password. So, FTP user and the password. OK. Done. We have access to that folder via FTP on the LAN. Now, if you want to access from the WAN outside of your network, you need to configure the router. Remember, enter the http:// and the default gateway IP address you wrote down at the beginning. Now enter the username and password of your router or modem and look for port forwarding. Make sure that you enable port forward and add the servers FTP, TCP, UDP, and start and end port is 21, and the server IP address, the Windows 10 IP address. Make sure to save it. Once done, log out And now the router is properly configured to allow FTP access throughout the firewall. Now we need to get the WAN IP address. We can get it from the router or we can Google it. Just search "what is my IP address?" and it'll immediately provide you with the IP address. If not, you can also go to one of these links from the result and it'll prompt you with the IP address, like so. Once done, write it down because we're going to use it to access this FTP via WAN or outside the network. So go to any computer outside of the network and type FTP:// and the WAN IP address. In the search bar, press enter, and again it will prompt you with a username and password. Enter the FTP username and password and click OK. You should be able to connect without any problems. There you go. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Miguel. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section below. Thank you.